First it was the antagonists. Now it is time for the protagonists. Thank you to our $5 patrons Rebel4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. And thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Rebel4765. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Now, we're on this breakdown / ranking and discussion on the protagonists of 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. Please remember to leave your own thoughts on the protagonists and their own ranking in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. Each more visible as $1 $1 a month. Exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the ranking. What's up, guys? All once again, here we are to rank the 4 Nights of the Apocalypse protagonists. And you know what time it is. This is going to take a hot minute because there are even more protagonists, like legitimate protagonists, than there are antagonists. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. Heading me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I do, in fact, have it on me, but this is my own tier list, so I won't be proving the worthiness of my own tier list, but I do want to see your own rankings in the comment section down below. If you are wondering where to find this tier list, literally just look up 4 Nights of the Apocalypse tier list. I should have mentioned that last video, but like look that up and then you will find the same tier list. It won't have like my same classifications and everything, but it'll have all the same characters, all the stuff like that. I think it is the first link that you put, once you put it into Google, it should be the first link. It has the most characters, it has the most variations of characters if you want to do like a power tier list. That's what this initially is. This is a power tier list. This isn't a protagonist or an antagonist tier list. I just turned it into something for my own devices. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it with some who's, because we got some tiers here. We got who, as in like I straight up, who are you? Where are you? What are you? I just don't remember who you are, what you stand for, where you come from. 2, we got kind of cheeks. I'm sorry, I do remember who you are, which is a praise more than some characters at the bottom will get. But like you kind of booty me. Kind of booty me. I won't lie to you. You kind of booty me. Then we got all right. Like you get a passing grade. You get a passing grade. Like you're not really doing too much, but you ain't doing anything bad. Like you ain't kind of chase like that. Not like that. Like that. Then we got great. Great, top of the line. You doing great. You just up there. You really, really good. You really, really solid. You really about that life. Then you got divine, because you know what time it is. You know, if you divine, you top of the line, and I can't even hit another word with that, like a rhyme, something like a great line. I don't know. But then we finally got peak of the verse. There's only one person in peak of the verse. You know exactly who it is, and we're gonna get right into it. Let's see. Starting off with a who. Personal. Okay, I'm kidding. Not personal. Let's see. Who to start with? Okay. I'm gonna do this to my boy. I mean, technically, he's not anything. Like, he's not even like a protagonist or an antagonist, but I didn't mention him in the last video, so I feel like I gotta mention him here. Katz, the only cool thing about him is that he's from Pelio's village. He's from Pelio's home village, and he's now doing his own thing. We have not seen him since chapter... let me think. Tapping the dome. We're trying to think. I'm tapping the dome. We're trying to think. Like chapter 5? Is that it? Why do you always scream when I go to record? Why must you do this to me every time? But regardless, yeah, I don't remember him from any point after that. That's it. That's all I got. 5. And he didn't even do anything. Like, I think he literally just got body bagged. I don't even remember what happened to him there. Same thing with Elba, his assistant. Like, I remember their names, which is better than I could do for other actual important characters in other series. Goes to show how much of an impression they left. So maybe they should just go in kind of cheeks. But it's like, I just don't know who they are, what they stand for, where they come from. Let's see. Any other who's in this first row? No who's. We'll put someone in all right. Dolores is all right. I definitely do think their whole scenario is a little bit weird. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that they're alive. But the fact that they aren't with Diane or anything like that, like maybe it just did happen off screen. Maybe Diane knows. But like considering all that Diane did for her back in the day, I'm shocked that she literally just ran away. I guess like she has no idea that the toxic culture of the Giant Clan has changed and stuff like that. I highly doubt a lot of information really reaches Echo Gorge. But still, It's cool that she's nursed back to health. It's cool that she's in a safe environment. All that's cool. All of it's fine. But you kind of just got one shot by getting spit on by Ordo in his monster state, and that was it. And then she did nothing else. I mean, she ate it. Like, Lance literally goes out of his way to know, like, oh yeah, she's had some combat training or some combat experience. You can't just have... I'm going to move you all the way down and away. Because you are just too loud. You are too loud. I don't like it. Stop it. Stop it. It's too loud. However, regardless, yeah, that's the only thing about Dolores. Dolores is kind of in like a... she's all right. She's all right. She did her job. She's there. She's Nasian's older sister. We can rock with that. We can rock with that, but that's about it. It's cool to see giants and humans and fairies all living together. I like that aspect of it, but there's nothing too crazy about Dolores. Let's move on to the next one. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep lifting and lowering it. I just don't like how loud it is. Let's see. Let's take a look. A good look. Do I go to someone goated? Do I go to someone goated? We'll put, you know what? We'll talk about Gwen. We'll talk about Gwen. I'm going to put Gwen. She's probably going to be at the top. All right. So, as y'all can likely tell by how I speak less than favorably about Gwen a lot, it's usually just because I feel like it's not necessarily her fault. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not necessarily her fault. It's Nakaba being weird for what I view as no reason. I'm not sure if Nakaba's being weird for the historically accurate stuff. Like I said, I actually specifically avoid any like not necessarily Four Knights, any Arthurian mythology, not like actively. It's not like, oh no, it's popping up in my face. Like, the most exposure I have to it is Overly Sarcastic Productions videos on it, and like whatever you guys tell me in the comments whenever I like make a mistake or ask for it, which I appreciate. That's about all my exposure to it. So I don't know if Gwen is just meant to be a weirdly built character, but I think her whole niche that she fits into is weird. I don't like time travel, future sight, manipulation. Why do you scream? Why do you scream? I can hear you scream. Stop it. But regardless, like future sight, all manipulations, I don't like it. I've never necessarily been a fan of it unless it's extremely vague. If it's extremely vague and unavailable most of the time, then I don't mind it. There are series that have characters who can see the future, and it usually just doesn't matter. Like, sure, they can see the future, but they can't do anything about it. That's when I don't mind it. Gwen, knowing that she has like a concrete vision of the future and willingly going to Arthur and all that, not a fan. How Nakaba writes her, not a fan. How Nakaba did her entire character design, not a fan. Don't like anything about her. But she's gonna be an all right, and she's gonna have to stay there because I'm probably gonna switch up. Like, legitimately, give me 100 chapters. Give me 100. We're at chapter 99 should be dropping this week. We are at 99 chapters deep. Give me 100 chapters. Give me more time with Gwen. Let a time skip happen. Anything pop off. Let anything actually happen so she gets more character development other than being a weirdly drawn plot device. And then I'll probably like her more. At this point, I'm just mostly indifferent. I can't put her any lower, mainly because she's going to be like the bridge point between protagonists that are like actually good and like non-protagonists, or like characters I actively don't like. And admittedly, part of me actively doesn't like Guinevere, because I think what she did was stupid, but she's also 12. Like, I can't necessarily get mad at a 12-year-old for making impulsive decisions. So, like, I don't know. I'm in a very weird spot with Gwen, where it's like, I do not like any of her decisions as a character so far. I do not like her design. I do not like her ability. I do not like anything that she's done for the narrative, and I think she's actively made it worse. Legitimately, like, because on a meta point, introducing any sort of time stuff makes your narrative more complicated unless you're really, really good at writing it. Sciencegate. Don't do it. And also, she's like made the situation worse for our characters because she gave Arthur information that he originally wouldn't have and went to him willingly. So, very, very mixed on Gwen, but she's going to be all right. Mainly, like, this just me future-proofing myself. I don't think I'm going to... Let's say Four Knights goes on for 300 or something chapters. I don't think we're at chapter 300. I'm going to be like not liking Gwen as much now. I think I just need to get more desensitized and get watered down more and more. But enough rambling about Gwen. Let's see. Who else should we talk about? The mini Percys. They are the peak of the verse. All right. You see, you thought I was going to be Sylvan. I bet you did. We made that joke last time. And some of y'all are twisted. Like... Wait till I get to spit and tripping on that one ball, because some of y'all are diabolical creatures, some of you. But the mini Percys. Now, I know it's weird to rank them as a protagonist, and I'm more so ranking them as a collective, but the guy with ASMR. Have you quieted down? You're still yelling. Nope, you can't. You don't get desk privileges until you stop yelling completely. But the mini Percys, I have noted on multiple occasions that they actively concern me. I don't know. I do feel like they're iffy. Notably, that it may just be my biases. I'm not a fan of cloning in general. Like, out of all the common superpowers you would hear, cloning, regeneration, flight, teleportation, the one that I think I would avoid 9 out of 10 times, like you literally have to just give me a non-power for me to not want to avoid cloning, is the fact I don't like that they're sentient. More sentient and more intelligent than Percy himself. That wombo combo right there is not something I'm the biggest fan of at all. I feel like it's way too concerning. Like, legitimately, I don't like that. But at the same time, I don't like that if it were me, but I like what it implies on a character front. And I can't act like the collective has not been useful. They've been the ones healing. They've been the ones forming constructs. They've been the ones sacrificing themselves. They've been the ones that give Percy all his unique abilities. They've been the ones that kind of saved the plot. Like, without them, Lancelot wouldn't have shown up to fight Arthur. It's clear, as simple as that. Without them appearing and doing their darn due and being smarter than Percy, Lancelot would not have scared Arthur off and caused his men to show up and get him to leave. That wouldn't have not happened. Just not at all. They are extremely crucial. They've done a great job. Notably, even before they became like frighteningly sentient enough to form whole sentences and like have coherent conversations and like warn people that they like, legitimately, their recent scene in 98 was so, not 98, 97 was extremely unsettling when they went up to Antiniac. Was like, yeah, the reason those creatures disobeyed your magical mind control is because they know that they would die. Like that mad ominous, but I like it. Like in a case where, like, if it were me, if I was Percy, I'd be like fundamentally and archetypically terrified because, sweet mother of mercy, these things are me, but better in all essence, really. And they outnumber me. Yeah, that'd be a bit concerning, but for everything they've done so far, they've kind of just been the peak of they have kind of been backpacking just as much as Lance himself. If we're being completely honest, ever since they showed up, they've been backpacking Percy like crazy. So I gotta put them up there. They gotta be the peak of the list. However, let's see. Are you yelling anymore? Do you get desk privileges? For a short while, it appears that the computer wants desk privileges. Ooh. But yeah, put that back on you. All right. For a short while, for a limited time only, the computer is going to get desk privileges. However, with this being the case, let's take a look. Who should we do next? We did Peak of the Verse. How many more Who's we can throw in? I forget this guy's name. I'll put him at the top of Who, though. He's the guy who ran the Vizel Fighting Festival tournament way back when, like, the first time. I think he shows up. Yeah, he shows up in the second one that's run by Droll and Gloxinia. And he's in the Armored Town with Eldon. He's fine. He's fine. I just don't remember his name. He didn't do necessarily too much, but he did help them find the dragon and all that. He did help him out a little bit. So, you know, he's Who. As in, I just straight up don't know who he is, but he's still fine enough, all things considered. Let's see. This bird, also Peak of the Verse. Also Peak of the Verse, because you see, I lied to you when I said there's only one Peak of the Verse. But you see, he was tasty. And thusly, it makes it all worth it. All of his crimes absolved. Let's see. Who else should we touch on? Part of me wants to not count Sin in his own character and just include him in the Lancelot discussion, but I think the characters are different enough, different names, different functions, different narrative purposes, all stuff like that. So I think I'll put Sin up in mind. Obviously, Sin as a character, he had me a little bit nettled. He had me a little bit nettled, mainly because I didn't believe a word he said. Like, I just didn't trust him for the most part. Like, one of the beautiful things about us being here as long as we have, Four Nights has been going on for we're going on 3 years now. Jeez, Four Nights has been moving. But the beautiful thing about going back, you can go back and check my original reviews and stuff like that and see how I found Sin unbelievably shifty yet unbelievably cool. Obviously, bro was out here guiding, essentially kind of raising the whole Percival platoon, showing them how to use their magic, taking them out of dangerous situations, backing them up in crucial situations, having faith in them in some, and taking care in others. Like, legitimately, Sim was just a really, really good character, really, really good protagonist. Sure, he didn't do much on the combat front for the most part. The only combat feats he has is obviously, well, is big, stomping a majority of legitimately curb stomping everyone but Dornock, because he transforms back into Lance at that point. So he stomps half of the Dark Talismans that remained, and he also took out that one familiar thing, and then off screen he took out all the Chaotic Dead. So he's definitely did a lot, even on the combat front, so he's good on that front protagonist wise. He was just a really, really good character, super duper solid. As shifty as he was shifty in a kind of funny way. Like, his grins were some of the best in the entire series. I love that. So overall, you know, he's a really, really solid character. I'm not gonna go too in depth on him because obviously it's just Lance. Like, it's just him. So, Sin, you get the honorable mention, my boy. You get the honorable mention. Speaking of honorable mentions, shout out to my Dragon Boy. Shout out to my Dragon Boy. He also Peak of the Bird. Let's see. Who do we do next? I'm gonna throw... I feel bad. Do I do that to Gilthunder? I'm gonna throw Gilthunder in kind of cheeks. Mainly because he hasn't done anything. Like, other than producing Kion, which may have been a mistake in of itself, bro has not done a thing. He's not added anything to the narrative other than his presence. And that's okay. Don't get me wrong. But still, I can't give him anything. Like, obviously, I could just be biased. I could go back in time. I'm sorry, that song literally fits everywhere. But with that being the case, I could go back in time and just, like, give him his season or Seven Deadly Sins credits, but I'm not going to do that. We're talking about characters in 4 nights, what they've succeeded as and done in within 4 nights. And sure, he is a protagonist. He is not an antagonist. He was with Meliodas, but that's it. Bro's done nothing. He has still sat down and contributed nothing to the narrative, so I can't really give him anything other than kind of cheeks. And even then, I should really put him in who? Because if you're just a 4 nights reader, who is Gilthunder? What has Gilthunder done to even grab your attention? At least Hauser fought the dragon. At least Pelio fought Pelgar for a little bit. At least Golgius has a daughter. And like, certain things happened for other characters, but Gilthunder, he kind of just been sitting there. Bro got the cardinal position and just sat around. I don't know. He did not help in any of the battles or do anything. He's just been sitting there, so he's kind of booty me. Let's see, Henriksen. Yeah, because I have people I want to put in great, and Henriksen wouldn't qualify for that. He more than Gilthunder has actually done something. Like, he helped Gnostians with the antitoxin. He proposed Gnostians this alternative plan. He helped fight against Melagallon. He did stuff like that. Obviously, I like his design. You know, I love a good beard myself. I respect a good quality beard. I ain't got a good quality beard. Like, jeez. My needs work. But regardless, Henriksen, he got a nice beard on him. He became the town doctor. He helping people out. He gave Gnostians an alternate path just in case the Holy Knight stuff didn't work out. He's Henriksen. He's a really, really good character. One of Seven Deadly Sins. I know I'm specifically trying to avoid Seven Deadly Sins, but in terms of the duology, one of the best, like, redemption arcs that we've seen over time. Shout out to Henriksen. Shout out to my boy. It's just that he hasn't done much else. Like, obviously, he's out of fighting age. He's not necessarily going to be relevant in any way, shape, or form in real, like, important combat senses, so I can't expect him to do too much. But yeah, he's definitely better than these two overall. He hasn't, like, actively disappointed me or made the narrative worse like Guinevere, and he hasn't just generally confused me with his character, like what happened with Dolores. So I gotta give him at least that. Let's see, Bartra. Without him, we wouldn't have the series. Think about that. Without him and his premonitions, we would not have the series. Because without him, I don't think the Knights, the prophecy wouldn't exist. That Camelot would be destroyed. So Ironside would have never gone to go hunt down Varghese and take Varghese out. And Percival would never have left God's Finger. Well, he may have. He may have still left God's Finger, but he never would have been hunted down. Him and Varghese may just be traveling. The whole series cannot happen as it is without Bartra. Because Bartra came up with the original premonition. And then obviously every other premonition that's been building from this point has been happening because Bartra gives them out. Sure, I don't think he spoke a single word. We haven't seen more than like a panel of them. Like, I remember seeing, this is different. This is a different panel, so we may have seen him twice. Because the main panel I'm remembering that panel of him and Elizabeth. That's all I'm remembering as a panel. So in terms of protagonists, he's been low-key backpacking. He's been putting the plot on his shoulders. And once again, in a very different vein to Guinevere, his future stuff is very vague. He does not get a clear picture of it. It works just fine, and the future kind of just writes itself. So I don't have a problem with it. Gwen's I have a problem because it actively hurts my head. I'm sorry, I'm not smart enough to comprehend time travel rules to the utmost point, or future sight rules, or whatever. So Bartra's simple magical power that literally kickstarted the whole journey, we can't have chapter 1 without Bartra. I think it works. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. Dreyfus. I don't like the back jokes. That's the only reason he's going to go below Hendrickson. Dreyfus, he's done fine. Obviously, he's kind of just been reduced to, oh, I am old man. My back hurts. Hey, the little mini man is making my back not hurt as much. I will poke Melagallon with my magic stick. Like, obviously, he's definitely more so carried from the original series. I wish he still could use full size or something like that. Maybe he could brawl with Melagallon or something. Or he could have done something like that. But obviously, once again, I'm not expecting any of these characters are mainly just for Seven Deadly Sins fans. Like, that's it. Like, they're here because if you're a Seven Deadly Sins fan reading Four Knights, you would wonder where they were if we were in Leonis. And that's it. If you're a Four Knights fan, these characters mean nothing to you. And I don't blame you. They also do very little. They do something, which is why they're in All Right. They're at the top of All Right. But what do you really expect them to do other than maybe defend Leonis if it comes under attack again? That's about all I can see from them. Pelio. Do I put him in great? See, this is like, I'll put him in great. Mainly because I like his glow up, I like the magical ability, I like his fight with Pelgard, I like all of that. Ruby Knight, shout outs to him. Obviously, I am a little bit biased towards Pelio because the main reason I'm even invested in him is because of way back in time, back in Seven Deadly Sins, who's being built up as Gothar's protege. We don't get to see much of that, but even with what he accomplishes purely separated, absolutely separated from Seven Deadly Sins stuff, because he doesn't get much in Seven Deadly Sins. He's just Gothar's apprentice. So seeing him come out, be a holy knight, have a good fight with Pelgard, have a unique enough magic, all that, I think it's really neat enough, and I think it puts him above these two just because, like, he actively has a combat presence. Meanwhile, Dreyfus is kind of just evolved in a jump, which is alright, but nothing too crazy. And Hendrickson doesn't really do anything battle-wise. The only reason he's above Dreyfus is because, like, he doesn't complain about his back. That's about it. But let's see. Shouts to Daddy Sylph. He nearly suffocated our main character. That's all you need to know about him. Alright. Slater. We'll put him in kind of cheeks. Once again, just hasn't done anything, mainly because his whole job is to literally just guard the king. In fact, I'll even put him above Gale Thunder. He's been doing his job well. The king has not come under siege. That's good. Or the former king. He has not come under siege. So he's all safe and good. So Slater's been doing his job. It's just that due to the fact that he needs to be by the king's side at all times, and is literally probably just taking care of him now at this point with how elderly Bartra is. He hasn't had much to do. But he's still a worthy enough protagonist. Sure, he's still got a cheek because he hasn't done anything, but that's just it'd be like that with ability vest sometimes, what can I say? Let's see. Gila, I'll put her in grade 2. Very similar reason for Pelgard. She doesn't do anything, realistically. She accomplishes nothing other than getting turned into an ice sculpture and revealing that she does have a demon form. That's neat. That's cool. That's buttery. I like that. But it doesn't necessarily do much for her. Jericho's amp was way better, and she didn't even have any demon blood in her. So Gila kind of just gets reduced to, oh, cool, new design, new powers. They did nothing. So do I even give her that? I think the new form, you know what, just for the sake of it, so I look at that without questioning myself, I'll even put this Gila back. I'll put new Gila up there, mainly because it's cool. It's cool to see someone with a purgatory fire, a human properly infused with demonic abilities and stuff like that. Especially considering the whole series and its themes right now. It's cool to see that. I like it a lot. Sure, she does nothing. That's the only thing that's going to keep her beneath Pelio. And to be fair, Pelio accomplishes nothing either. But at least he, like, pressed Pelgard a little bit. Meanwhile, it seems like Gila didn't even really press Jericho. Jericho was kind of just flexing under that entire fight. So I'm gonna give Gila. She's great. She's great enough. Let's see. The armor. is also Peak of the Verse, because and I'm literally talking about just the armor, not the guy in it, the guy that they found who was related to that one dude who was there against Oslo all those years ago. No, just the armor. Peak of the Verse. Let's see. Tristan. Do I put him above or below? Yeah, I'll put him above Sin. Because we aren't talking about Lance. We ain't talking about Lancelot. So, Tristan, a character who obviously has been hyped up and built up ever since the end of Seven Deadly Sins 3 years ago now, which is... Whew. Y'all, okay, this is just for my Kingdom Hearts fans out there. Does it blow y'all away that Kingdom Hearts 3, a game that we waited at bare minimum, 2013? A game that we waited 6 years for. We are 4 years out from that game. Actually, realistically, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Did I count that wrong? Hold on. 2019, I mean, I guess you can't. We'll just say 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. So 4 years. But we're nearly on the 5-year anniversary of Kingdom Hearts 3. I forget what I was listening to that made me realize that, but I was like, wow. I need to talk about my Kingdom Hearts 3 experience. I still haven't actually sat down and like compilated my thoughts about that game. I'm probably gonna, there's so many things I want to do live with y'all. Like I want to replay the whole Kingdom Hearts series live with y'all. Get ready for 4, even though we haven't. Another thing I noticed, we haven't gotten news on Cage 4 in nearly a year. I think it'll be a year this month since the game has been announced. We have not gotten a single extra bit of news, I don't think. Which is weird. Like, I hope this isn't, trust me, I really hope this isn't Cage 3 all over again. Part of me was optimistic that we may get it like 2024. Because, you know, drop it 2022, 3-year development cycle, get it around 2024, maybe March, something like that. Celebrate the 5th anniversary of this 25th, I do believe, 25th anniversary. But, like, it's been radio silence. I think the only thing that happened is Nomura came out on stage at the recent concert and was like, big things, big changes are happening. But even that doesn't say anything about 4. We haven't gotten a single teaser and anything more about 4. And to be fair, maybe that Square Enix finally learning its lesson about, like, over advertising and stuff like that, because I do agree with a lot of people, like, they should not have shown as much as 3 as they did before the game came out. Sure, 3 still made me cry like a baby at certain scenes, but there are a ton of things I wish I could have experienced just naturally playing the game myself versus experiencing it in a trailer months before the game came. I'm sorry, I'm tangent. I'm such a huge, massive tangent. Tristan, we're talking about Tristan. Tristan, great character. Great protagonist so far. Sure, did he come in swords blazing up against a literal victim? Like, you really see him going up against a spare person here. Yes, he did come out swords blazing up against a victim, but ever since, he's kind of just been hitting. Like, notably, I can definitely see why Tristan is a fan favorite character. One, obviously, all the cool light and darkness powers. Like, you can't really get those anywhere else other than the Nephilim, or if some goddess goes absorbed, they can't. You literally just can't, because the commandments are destroyed. So you're never getting another, like, 4 commandment Mael situation again. So Tristan literally just being, like, a proper 4 commandment Mael. Love that. Love seeing the 27 different forms he has and all the different levels and combinations he has. As a character, I think he's really, really solid. I like both sides of the character. The happy-go-lucky, I like to help people. We don't hurt people. We are good, solid individuals. Like, that kind of guy. But I also do like the demon, the monster, the beast. Like, that kind of guy. I like him too a whole lot. I love Demon Tristan. I can't wait to see more of him pop out, really. Hopefully we get some of that popping off hopefully soon. There may be things happening in the manga or in the leaks that may have been popping off just a little bit. So, like, we could get a whole lot of stuff with Tristan. His whole journey of inadequacy next to Lancelot's going to be really, really interesting. I'm interested to see where those go, especially since, like, Lancelot's supposed to be a big bad traitor in the original Arthurian mythology, from what I've gathered from your comments and stuff like that. So there's that I'm looking forward to with Tristan, seeing how he deals with that, if that does end up happening. Even without that happening, the whole inadequacy stuff, the whole fear of his demon side, his lack of understanding of it, hypothetical assault modes, true magics, let there be lights, like, all. Tristan is just a character with, like, I'd say the most potential out of just a Seven Deadly Sins perspective, like, knowing, yeah, mainly just Seven Deadly Sins perspective, knowing where that comes from and seeing where that could go. unbelievably hype, and even the stuff he's done so far with the light and darkness powers and the Nephilim states and all the stuff like that, really, really cool. I feel like I don't necessarily have to justify why he's up there in divine and not down here in great with like V's fodder. Speaking of fodder, because without him we wouldn't have Goatsians. Nah, but let's be real. I think I will put, and I can't in good faith. I can't in good faith put him above Gwen, because Gwen just has too much narrative relevance. As much as I don't like Gwen's narrative relevance, she does just have flat out more of it. So I can't necessarily like, in good faith, and not being like a true memester, put him above Gwen. But Ordo, he's fine. He's all right. He literally just is his tier. Like, once again, we don't get much time as him as a protagonist, but him going out of his way, him being a human and helping all these fairies, helping raise Dolores, heal Dolores up after her encounter, and also taking Nasians and taking in a complete stranger, just a baby, and raising it himself as his own grandson. All that's really, really nice. I think he's a really solid dude. Just, once again, has not done much. He's not going to necessarily get much higher than any of his contemporaries. Let's see. There he is, the real. Yeah. I will take no further questions at this time. I don't even fully understand how. I think it just happened. I don't know how the Sylvan means began. Because like the most are like, it went from I keep confusing this character for Sylvain. See, now I haven't touched Three Houses in so long. Now that I'm gonna mix up their names indirectly, I keep mixing up Sylvain and Sylvain from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now he's just the deity. He's just top of the verse, and there's just no contesting it. If you disagree, you're wrong. You are wrong. He solos Arthur. He solos Magi. He solos Fate. He solos everything. He solos. He beats Goku. That's how strong he is. That's it. That's why he's the best. That's why he's the best protagonist. However, let's see. Who else do we have? Let me take a look. In a book, reading a book. Can I really count that though? I don't think I can give Merlin an honorary spot here, or even Fraud Merlin, because once again, just did not do anything antagonistic or protagonistic, so I'm going to have to leave that be. Let's see. You know what? We'll talk about a character who has definitely risen in the ranks for me to the point where maybe, is this a bold claim? Is this a bold claim? Is this a bold? Yeah, that's too bold. So we'll put him, eeny, meeny. Like, do I value... Sinna's had so much more screen time, though. He had so much more screen time, so much more impact on the ball. I'll put him at the bottom of the divine. Jade is kind of crazy. Like, I know this seems wild. Like, especially if you've been around for a while, you know I did nothing. There was nothing that I did or had a more favorite pastime of other than clowning on Jade. I just thought it was hilarious. I just thought bro was so fundamentally, archetypically useless. That there was no other point to him and his character other than to be clowned on. But then Nakuba decided to hop up in the kitchen and cook up a really good character. A relatable character, a character with powers over light and darkness, which is interesting to see from a human, a character with inner conflict, a character who has actual, like, proper love emotions and just doesn't have a poorly written love story because he just doesn't get to be the main character, a character who overall loves and cares about his friends and is willing to protect them in their honor, yet is willing to respect the people around him that see his friends in a different light, a character who just overall has just been really, really good. Once again, a character who went from nothing to getting good drip to being one of my favorite characters. And the only reason he's not, like, higher is because he hasn't done anything. Yeah, like, he's literally just... He has failed in all of his endeavors. He couldn't... Lancelot needed to come save him against Jericho. He didn't beat Percy. He didn't beat... Yeah, he clearly didn't beat McDuff. You read chapter 98. He didn't beat McDuff. Nothing that Jade has done has really been to the point where do I put him in great? I think I have, even after all of Jay's development, I think I'll just put him at the top of great. He'll probably be cemented at the top of great though, because I still think he could hypothetically fit in Divine. It's just that he lacks the screen time and he lacks the success that would like put him up there in Divine. Like I can't, like tier wise, I just can't see Jade up there with like Sin, Tristan, anyone else I'm about to put in Divine. Like it's just not up there. Speaking of great, I gotta put Varghese up there. Notably, the only reason Varghese is in like Divine or Peak of the Verse or True Peak of the Verse, and he's just gonna stick there around probably like the middle of great, is mainly because he just doesn't exist very long within the narrative. Like what? He's gone before the end of the first chapter. Sure, he makes sparse appearances in flashbacks and manga extras here and there, but it's too late. He's gone. Sure, I'm glad he raised Percy. Percy would not be the man he is today without Varghese, and obviously Percy has a lot of emotions towards Varghese and his, how do I put this nicely, not the living anymore? Yeah, like he has a lot of connections to that, and obviously he has connections to Ironside, connections to Arthur, connections to Meliodas. He's a very good adapter. Like, you know how you have those plugs and you need to like switch from one plug to another, so you put an adapter in between? That's Varghese, because Varghese has a ton of connections to a bunch of different characters, but it's not like anything crazy really happens. It's not like he really did anything too bonkers, at least not to me. Like I don't see Varghese going any higher than he did just due to sheer lack of screen time, and he's never won a single fight. We know he has fought things, and we've seen some of his fights, but he's never won a single one of them. So yeah, he kind of just, he does good enough for a protagonist. Like he completes his job. His job is literally to exist, to not exist anymore, and be motivation for Percy. So he does that well. He does it great, in fact, to the point where he's in great right beneath Jade. But at least Jade had some screen time. At least Jade had some actual proper fights we could see. And sure, Jade lost all his fights too, but at least he had more of them. So Varghese, big rips, Brody, big rips. It happens to the best of us. Don't get mad. It happens to the best of us. Speaking of the best of us, let's see. Who shall we discuss next? You are an anti. We will put go there. He is divine. All right. But can I put him above Tristan and Sin? I'm really, like, here's the thing. I'm really trying to fight off my Seven Deadly Sins bias. We are doing a 4 Knights tier list. So I gotta remove, okay, I can't put Gother up there. I can't put him above Sin or Tristan. They both have done more. They have succeeded more than Gother has. I really want to move. Okay, we will not. We will put him beneath. We shall give you another hit. That got ASMR real quick as I sip some agua. Okay, so Gother, one, design-wise, really, really good. I haven't necessarily been talking too much about character design here, but in terms of character design, I think this is literally maybe just Gother's definitive best fit. Once again, I'm thinking of previous analytics and stuff, but really, really solid fit. Really, really like the design, like the hooks into the overhang, into all of that. Two, protagonist-wise, he just does really, really good. Sure, he comes off as like a false antagonist at first, with his big, beefy man muscles. But like, even with that being the case, he does a really good job taking care of the demon village. I love that for his character. I love him protecting, going in his way to take care of all those people that he technically should but doesn't have to identify with, considering he himself is a creation of a demon but not necessarily a demon himself. I love how he takes care of one of the Dark Talisman members by using the twin bow hair and reeling back and launching into one of them, gets Tamdu, immediately Tam gone. I love seeing that. I love seeing his interactions with all of our main cast, really, or at least the main cast of the time, how he's protective of the kids, how he's willing to try and spare Anne's feelings, showing his development, yet at the same time, the humanity that he's developed doesn't necessarily work in the situation. Love seeing him interacting with Percy, seeing him interact with Sin, knowing that Sin was Lancelot and giving him that nap that he needed. Gother just does a really, really solid job, much more solid than any of the people beneath him, and he takes no L's. Like, legitimately just took not a singular L. So I gotta give bro his due credit as a protagonist. He He's been hitting. He's been hitting. He's been smacking, if you will. Speaking of smacking. Who else was smacking? Let's see. Do I put her? I think I got it. I'm gonna put I so old in gray. And notably, I think I have to put her there mainly just because of the Melagallon feet. You think I'm kidding? I think I'm joshing you? Do you think I'm ruffling your jimmies? I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. Truth. With a capital TRUF. Truth. It's only that. Because admittedly, like her character on the rest of the front, once again, I feel bad for female characters written by Nakaba because they kind of just don't. If they're usually either A, in love with the main character, B, getting their memories taken away or lied to and more manipulated, and or C, just don't get to do much. Now, which character am I describing? Isolde or Diane? Isolde or Merlin? Isolde or Elizabeth? Secret answer D. All the above. Like, legitimately, all the characters are kind of just written by like that. If they're being written by Nakaba, it's unfortunate. But even still, as protagonist, she does a decent enough job of it. Like, being the love interest for Tristan. Sure, the obsession is a little bit weird, but we have another protagonist that we need to talk about who has a really weird obsession with their not blood cousin ability. They are not blood cousins because Elizabeth came from Danafor. I always forget that little detail. She's not actually Bartra's kid. She is just a kid of some poor random individual that got vaporized from Meliod. I wonder if Meliod straight up ripped the baby out of the shard or darkened. That sounds so dark. But legitimately, that's about it. So she does fine. The only reason I'm putting her in great is because she's getting more characterization. I really like her relationship with Anne. I think that could go very, very far if these two spend a lot more time together. Even though I think her obsession with Tristan is a bit, and by a bit, I mean extremely unhealthy. I think she's going to be able to work through it. I think unlike another certified meat muncher that we have in the crew, I think she will actually be able to develop beyond that. And I think her magic is actually really, really neat. Like the delayed love bomb, La Bomba de... What is it? ¿Cómo se dice love? Oh, La Bomba de Amor. The love bomb. I think it's neat. I think it's a neat ability. I like the delay. I like the delayed timing and stuff like that. The fact that she can set traps and stuff. It's a really cool ability. I'm interested to see where she can go with it. Also, it's just really, really strong. like guys, it just has games. So I can respect that a whole lot. Let's see. Who else do we have to talk about? I will not talk about any of you just yet. You are definitely an antagonist. Let's see. Do I talk? Am I running out of time? Out of reality? Let me see. I think we only have heavy hitters left to discuss. I'm pretty sure. No, we do not just have heavy. I mean, he technically is a heavy hitter. Let's see. I guess low key you could we'll put him in kind of cheeks. Because Edlin's a villain for majority of that little mini arc. So I can't necessarily give him like good boy credits because he just definitively wasn't. So I won't. So I'll just leave him there. Let's see. I think and now we just have goats that we need to discuss. There's one more. One more that will go into some decent depth and discussion on. All right. The only reason that he's not going into Vine or above Jade or anything like that is because he legit did beat Donnie. Like, not in a fist fight. He just, like, straight, his own nephew. He did smack the taste out of his mouth. Not a good look, Hauser. Like, admittedly, everything else with Hauser's fine. I will admit, though, I do kind of wish he had kept the beard, have a more decent redesign. He literally just is the same. Like, or at least change his fit. Like, change his fit up a little bit. The fact that it's literally just verbatim the same fit he's been wearing for the past 16 years, and the most change he has is some 5 o'clock shadow or some stubble. That's it. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm really rocking with that overall. I think he definitely needs some more change, some more flair put into it. At least a little bit more, because right here, right now, he's kind of looking a little underwhelming on the design front. But magic-wise, it's cool. In Nakaba confirmed in the Q&A, he's about as strong as Matrona now, which is really interesting. That's very neat to think about. I like as much as I don't like the fact that he, smacked his nephew up, at the same time, that leads to a good character story for him where he comes out of his slump, I suppose, and goes in and really gets his adoptive son back. Him staying there. He's the one who forged Percy's sword, the dragon handle blade. That's really, really good. I like that from him. W. Hauser. And him taking down the dragon was cool. That's about it. He's still solid. The only reason I'm putting him below Jade is because, I think Jade's just a neater character at this point. I'm more invested in Jade than I am in Hauser, because Hauser's going to be fine. Hauser's Hauser. Meanwhile, Jade's new and volatile. But let's see. See, part of me doesn't even want to talk about the next couple characters I need to rank, because videos. They are cooking. So part of me doesn't want to do it, but at the same time, I gotta talk about it. Let's hit up one of the big ones, one of the major ones. Let's put Anne up there. I can put her above Sin. Anne has one of my favorite introductions of any characters in the entire Seven Deadly Sins duology in the series. I love her just pulling up and being like, wait, let me see, can I reenact it? She literally pulls up. Drop it, or you will simply not do the living anymore. I can just respect the hustle there. Legitimately, she pulled up blade drawn and was like, the blade was down, but she was like, I will slay you. Put that thing down. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Legitimately, I don't know. I just really like that moment for the character. I think it's a really solid introduction. I will admit, her ability is definitely kind of lacking. No lie. Just the truth ability alone is kind of booty meat, but I can definitely see Nakaba expanding on it, so I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Her being a good counter to illusions and being immune to Arthur's abilities because of stuff like that, I think that's going to be pertinent in the future. That's going to be super important to why our cast can probably even beat Arthur and overwhelm his illusions and stuff like that. I think that'll be neat. I think she has a really good dynamic with pretty much everyone in the entire group. Her older sister dynamic with Donnie is really, really neat. I like that. Obviously, the two are probably going to keep developing an even greater brother-sister bond throughout. I love how Nasians and her kind of bounce off each other as equals, both have respect for each other and their respective abilities. I like how they rely and lean on each other, once again, purely as equals. Her being sort of a victim, I feel like there's no other way we can quantify that. Her sort of being just a victim for Percy is a little bit unnerving. I don't know. That whole I think it's even on the cover of chapter 98. It's just weird. I'm not the biggest fan. Never necessarily was the biggest fan. Never going to be the biggest fan of something like that. So I think that's kind of, it's icky. It's icky sticky. And I'm not talking about Vicky. If you know what I'm saying, that's just not something I'm really ever going to rock with. But, main male character needs female lead love interest. Bada bing, bada boom. It kind of just needs to happen. So I'll let that slide. I think she does have some pretty solid fights. Sure, they're all sword fight based, and notably, they're usually against people who either A, completely outclass her unless they don't pay attention to her until they get, done dirty. Ironside, the initial Ironside fight in her introductory arc. Or B, they're up against Bergie, who isn't even a close combatant. And she literally beat her after her weapon was taken away by external help. But even still, sword fighting, Nakaba's really, really good at drawing sword fighting, and is a good sword fighter. I like that. It's neat. So overall, and just a really, really solid character. Excited to see more from her. Hopefully she gets a magical awakening so she can be more useful. All the stuff like that. Super neat to see. Nakaba, get to chefing it up with it real quick. Chef her up. However, let's see. Speaking of people that Nakaba has been chefing up with, yeah, I know this. and here we go. All the Tristan fans, please spare my life. I think Tristan's neat. I think he's neat, but he ain't goated like Donnie's goated. I'm sorry. Donnie as a character has had an arc a story, a tale of a tale as old as time. Like, legitimately, bro's whole journey up to this point of just becoming a better man, getting more bravery, understanding himself, having faith in Percy, having faith in his friends, being willing to put himself on the line, put his life on the line with the people he trusts and grew to trust and grew to develop with, being at the same time the still same funny character he is, having a really cool magic, a really solid design, being tied to the previous series in a really interesting way, even though I still don't know where his mother came from. I feel like Nakaba just pulled that right out his rear. He might as well have just been Hauser's son. Like, legitimately, I don't care. He literally just has Gila's hair. Like, he has Gila's hair. You just didn't have to make it red, which it is. Like, legitimately, you could just tell me. You could retcon it. Like, hit me with a whole genjutsu and be like, Donnie is Hauser and Gila's son. And I'd be like, okay. You just have to change the hair color and then I'd be good. But that's it. All that really, really solid. Like, I feel like Donnie's a weird character to talk about because he kind of speaks for himself. He just has a really good, solid character journey, a magical awakening, and overall has just been doing good. He's kind of been coasting as of recent, but it's not like he's coasting on a bad thing. He's currently just building bonds and building development. And he is one of the characters who has flat out one of, if not the best ties to all other characters. Like I said, I love his and Anne's dynamic of like older sister, younger brother. Their idiocy is hilarious to watch. Nasians and Donnie both being like, they're equals in the way that Anne and Nasians are equals, but it's like a weird kind of equals dynamic where they're kind of just like constantly messing with each other, either accidentally or directly. I think that's neat. Obviously, I love the zero brain cell between the two duo that Donnie and Percy is. I love their duo. Even his new developing relationship with Kion is really, really neat to see. I like that too. Overall, he's just a really, really good character. I can't even, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's just goated. I can't necessarily knock his hustle on that. Speaking of characters who's goated and I can't knock the hustle on, am I really going to put Mel below Sin? My stomach just said yes. So we're gonna go with the gut feeling. Mel is cool. Obviously there's a whole ton of bias out for the character, but if I sit back and put the bias down, I put the big B away, and I just look at it pound for pound, comprehensively, what has Meliodas done? Like, obviously he's the reason we have Tristan, and I obviously gave Bartra a whole bunch of points for being the reason that we have Tristan, or no, being the reason that we have the plot at all. But I think it's so hard for me to let the Meligound or the Chaos variants stuff slide, considering all it would take is 1 trillion Dark Orb and they were literally destroying his kingdom. Like, I get it. We are in 4 nights. Mel's not allowed to do anything too important because it's not his story anymore. But then don't have him there. That's the only thing. I think overall, though, he's still a great character. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love seeing his demon mark. I love his new drip. The only thing is I do not like the tie. The tie is the only thing that needs to go. But obviously, it's Mel. Like, I feel like I don't necessarily have to go into why Mel is so great. He has a cool fight against Arthur. He has a cool restraint of Tristan. He has a really nice personality. All the good stuff like that. He hasn't done too much, though, but I'm going to give him Divine because it's literally Meliodas. I'm going to cheat. Let's see. Speaking of cheating, we're going to talk about some real cheating. I want to talk about some true, proper cheating. I swear I can speak English when I feel like it. Yeah. Is it really too bamboozling? I swear I can English. Is it really too bamboozling? Does this really catch you off guard? Does this really ruffle your jimmies that me, Lance Lover 34789 has Lance. It's literally one of my favorite protagonists. Yeah, of course he is. Obviously, he's just cool. Let's talk about design-wise. He has the best outfit. Like, legitimately, he just has the best outfit. The sleeveless hoodie with the red pants and the fire shoes and the arrow slung over his back, plus the hairdo, plus the scarf. It's just goated. It's just like, there's one of the, if not flat out, okay, not flat out the best. There are some flyer designs in the whole duology. But in comparison to like our current main cast, he just does have the best outfit. It's the outfit he's been wearing for over a year now. So weird to think it's been over a year since he's been introduced as Lance. But still, over a year now, he's been hitting, cooking just like that. design-wise. Character-wise, he just has the exaggerated swagger of a half human, half fairy teen. I love it. I love it. He's just been hitting so different ever since he's been introduced. Obviously, he came out and sold the Dark Talismans. He came in and put the paws on Arthur, put his foot on his chest. He's been out here slamming Jericho. Not in the way that Jericho wants, but he's been slamming Jericho. Like, legitimately, he's just not missed once. The only thing is that he has a very strong weakness for, where is she? Where are you? Here. There we go. He has a very strong weakness for Gwen, but even then, I think that exposes a side of his character that I do like. The awkward side, the kid that never necessarily got to be a kid or grow up or have those experiences because of his experiences in that other realm, in the world beyond. I think that's really, really neat to see. I love a dual-sided character. It's cool to have just your cool, awesome sauce character. Obviously, Lance was still one of my favorite characters before we got that softer side of him, but even then, that softer side isn't just shown with Gwen. It's shown with his relationship with Percy, his desire for friendship and camaraderie with his own little group, stuff like that. Lance is just really, really good. He has missed. Nagaba has not missed with him. He's cooking. He's Bondskin. Overall, he's just been hitting differently. So he's really, really solid. Let's see. Who else left do we have to discuss? I suppose we can talk about Gawain. Let's talk about Gawain. I'm going to put Gawain. Where am I going to put Gawain? Do I put Gawain above, below, and then up? She's so damn atrocious, though. She's so damn. Oh, she's so atrocious. She's out. Okay, I'm gonna put her right here, right beneath Anne. Okay, so Gawain, W character so far. Like, admittedly, the only thing that's holding her back from being any higher is that one, she's the most recently introduced out of our main cast. Like, legitimately, Isolde, Jade, Kion, all of them were introduced properly before her. So she's literally the shortest of our mainstay cast that we've had so far. She just has a very minimal amount of screen time compared to a lot of her other divine contemporaries who have either been here since literally like chapter 2 or 3 or at least chapter 16. Like, out of all the people who are above her, the latest joiner is, I believe, Anne in chapter 16. That's multiple arcs of character development and character interaction that Gawain just doesn't have yet. Her dynamics are literally just thirsty. Like, she either doesn't respect you or she wants you. That's all Gawain's. That's all of her connections as a character. Sure, it's fine. It works. I think her magic's cool. I think her design's solid enough. But I do definitely think she's going to have to rise up a bit more. I'm putting her above Sin because Sin, once again, was very shifty in his own right and very untrustworthy in his own right. So I'm going to put Gawain above him, but even still, Gawain, she's got a long way to go before she climbs up higher in the ranks. But speaking of the ranks, speaking of characters climbing high, we're going to go with the character who's got a low. It really is a day-by-day thing. Like, if you, on some days you come to me and you ask me, hey, Pencil, how do you feel about Kion? Sometimes I put him down here. Like, legitimately just bottom tier out of any of the characters I actually remember remotely care about. But sometimes he's actually funny and he's like up there. But for a middle ground, for a medium, I'll slide him right here. I'll put him in the middle to balance the extreme. Because he has moments that I really, really like when he's a protagonist, like him coming out and doing certain things up against, like, Jericho, up against Macduff, even though he tried and failed to do that, using his powers in unique ways. I think he has a really neat power set. This is, like, the first real, outside of Melaskil, I suppose, this is, like, the first real summoner archetype that we've seen before, and I like that aspect a lot. It's just the meat munching. I'm sorry. I can't give him any higher just due to the meat munching. Like, if he could get Tristan's meat out his mouth for, like, 10 minutes, get the meat out of his mouth for 10 minutes, and then I think he could go even higher than Jade. But right now, right here, Kion just too dedicated to slobbering, gawking all over it. I just can't. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. So I can't necessarily give Kion any more points than that. And I believe that leaves us with only one protagonist left to tackle. I do believe so. Oh, no. How did I forget my goal? How did I forget my goal? Yeah, obviously the only... Am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do... Is that blasphemy? That's gotta be blasphemy. That's gotta be like heresy. There's no way I can do that. Do I get my Lance fan club card removed? Like, do I get banned from the fan club if I do that? I may get banned from the fan club. I can't do that, can I? Okay, let me sit back and who do I really like more? This protagonist. Character development. He even has cool fighting moments. And I like his magic more. I'm gonna do it. If you need to take away my Lance fan club card, take it away. Take it. Take away my pencil. Take away my green Lancelot. Lancelot signed. You see Lancelot signed it right here. Take away my green Lancelot pencil. Do it. Nascience is too good. Nascience is way too good. Design-wise, bro is the drip king. Sure, I definitely think Nakaba missed with his most recent Pillsbury Doughboy built short onesie skirt combo, like whatever he did with the recent design. I hope he gets a new one because Sweet Mother Mercy needs it. But for the majority of the series, he's dripped out the wazoo, the drippiest character in the entire series for the most part, other than like Lancelot himself, who's drippy in his own way. Two, his magic is just through the roof. I love Poison Mixer, all the different applications he has for it, from being able to use it to neutralize any alcoholic content within drinks, to being able to cast things like Henbane and Belladonna, to outright stealing other magics like Wither just by simply observing them and absorbing them. Really, really cool. I love Ceranos amped Nascience. I love even base Nascience out here blitzing and one-shotting Chaos Knights. Like, bro is so good in everything he does. And character-wise, he's super cool. I love his little character quirk where he bites his lip and starts slobbering everywhere. I like how Nascience has this really cool story of appearing as an antagonist, only to reveal that he's attempting to be a protagonist, and then slowly growing and developing along his groups. He also, I know I keep saying, all these characters have just some of the best dynamics of the other characters, but Nascience, once again, I've mentioned it, all his ties to other characters, from his love for Percival, to his respect for Anne, to his almost condescending brother nature towards Donnie, all of that is really, really cool. I love it. Nascience, he's just too goated. He's too goated. What can I say? He's just him. He's just him. I can't necessarily knock Nascience. That's my boy. That's my boy. I'm not going to knock my boy. My boy is so good. Speaking of my boy, my son, I believe we have gotten through all the protagonists except for one. And you know I had to save, not the best, but a pretty good guy for last. Let's see. I believe I've hit everybody who could be considered a protagonist. We'll put the dragon up there. Dragon's pretty goated. But it's a protagonist of its own story. But let's see. I think that's everybody. I think we've hit on everyone except for one. So I think what I will do, you know, we'll talk about Pelgard as protagonist real quick. He was alright when he beat Gawain. That's cool. That's it. But obviously, you know, the main man of the hour I gotta talk about Percy. Now the question is, where am I gonna put Percy? Where do I put Percy? I think I kind of like, I think it's just, I'm legally obligated. Where'd I put it? Where's his image? I know I just had it. There it is. I think I'm legally obligated to put him above Donnie. Like, even if, like, I like Donnie's character journey more, and I think his magic is neat as well, Percy just has too much going for him. He's always kind of been ugly. Like, I'm not, from his extreme amounts of hair in the early chapters to his, all of his lackluster fits, design-wise, he hasn't been too crazy. But Percival, the main character, the Knight of Death, his crazy cracked magic, his amazing character dynamics, all of it, it's just good. It's just so good. I literally just can't even argue. If someone has Percy higher than Lance or Nascience, I can completely understand it. Makes perfect sense. It's just, he kind of speaks for himself. Really good character, solid enough design, really cool magic, really cool starting arc, really cool storyline with Varghese and his ties to Camelot. All that is just really, really good. He's just solid. He's divine. So overall, I think that is it for all the protagonists. As you can see, I feel like this list is much more top heavy than the last one. I feel like there are a lot more, like, the last list was a lot more bottom heavy, if I remember correctly. But overall, really, really solid. Let me see. I think everything's pretty much in order here. Yeah, this guy's... nah, we'll leave him here. Pelgard, my goat. I feel like I can't put Pelgard that low, but we'll leave him there. We'll leave him there. yeah, overall, I think this is my list. Please send me your list in the comment section down below. Once again, if you want to do a tier list of your own, record a video and hey, post it. I want to watch it. I'm more than willing to, if y'all ever want to do videos and like leave a link to them down below. I may just react to them. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if you show up in a video one day. So don't be afraid. Once again, you can just pop in Fortnite Apocalypse characters tier list into Google. Click the first link. You have access to this. Leave your own tier list. I want to see them. Talk, leave your own rankings down below. I always appreciate reading your comments and see stuff like that, responding, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon below. Each one result as one $1 exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member on the channel for result as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.